And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling. If it makes major news headline in terms of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show. So just kind of reflect on what we talked about. We had our WWE Monday Night Raw review. Last couple of days, I've had, technical difficulties, and it sucks because at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? I just want to go out there and do my show, but I can't because the Wi-Fi's out, because something in your computer software is messing up, something in your microphone isn't working well, your camera isn't allowing OBS Studio to, make any adjustments, and it's just, oh God, sucks. It's nasty. Something that we deal with as podcasters here, 1010% love you guys. Glad to see you guys tuning into the show. Now we're going to talk about our WWE NXT review. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to hit up the tips and donations link, or go ahead and hit up that super chat. But if you got a burning question, or if you have just a hot take in terms of professional wrestling, go ahead and just hit up that chat button. It's, or if something you're dying to get off your chest, hit up the GSMC Sports Network. We are all ears 1,010%. This show is all about keeping the conversation lively, making sure your voice is part of the mix. So don't be shy. Drop in those thoughts inside those chats. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed, why not use that super chat? It's a $ below that chat box. Just hit that $ below that chat box. Send in your message, and it's guaranteed to be featured on this show. Plus, it's a great way to support our channel. Your super chats keeps, keep the lights on in terms of the GSMC Sports Network, so we can keep bringing you guys even more awesome sports content 24/7, 7 days a week. We are absolutely super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep this party going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. And once again, if the super chat isn't your thing, you can still hit up the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, questions, and concerns. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do live a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1,010% of the time. But once again, feedback is a gift. If it's criticism, we'll take it. Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network. Don't be shy. Let's go ahead and dig on into it. All right, guys, we're going to talk about some WWE NXT. The first ever NXT on the CW network. Also, it was the first ever NXT that's, not first ever, but, they're not inside the Performance Center anymore, which is kind of cool. We are live in Chicago, Illinois at the Allstate Arena on the CW. Just a little referendum, or just a little, little reasons why you're going to see NXT on the CW. And I kind of wanted to do my, a little segment about it, but kind of keep it brief. During an episode of an NWA Power, I guess there was a hot spot where one of the wrestlers who did a spot where he was doing, illegal substances. I'm not going to say what it is, but it rhymes with Kurt Cobain. It was supposed to be a spot. It was supposed to be like, I don't know. I honestly, I don't really know what they were thinking. But of course, the CW, kind of like a family show. This happened like almost a year ago. The CW, they wanted to keep a wrestling promotion. They did 1,010%. And I don't know if Billy Corgan was a part of it. Obviously, the front man of the Smashing Pumpkins, the leader, the owner, and also the vice president of the National Wrestling Association Alliance. Sorry, excuse me. But overall, I just, I don't know why you would allow like a, kind of like a spot to kind of happen about that. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Obviously, that kind of, if I was a CW, if I was a representative or an executive, producer, I'd be like, yeah, we don't need people to see that. Like, we don't want to see people doing drugs, or we don't want to see people doing, crazy things, snorting illegal substances in the crowd with people, so, dude, it's going to cut our losses. No, we're just going to cut our losses. We're going to bail. But overall, it was, it was a kind of bad spot. I feel like that's overall exactly what kind of people, pushed the CW executives to be like, you know what? Wrestling is cool. It has gone mainstream, 1,010%. But, we don't need someone like the NWA. We're going to, follow up with the company that's PG 13, like the WWE. And, it's just going to be awesome. Which it was. All right, so we have our match. We're going to talk about, Senior Vice President of Development Creative Shawn Michaels made his entrance to open up the show. Shawn Michaels was welcomed into the All Straight Arena, of course, 1,010%. And then, he came to the podium with new NXT Championship titles, HBK. Then, he was about to do Triple H's "Are You Ready" bit, but Paul Triple H Levesque came out of nowhere, and he's like, "Are you ready?" And then combined with the whole DX, it was pretty cool. And it was like, "Are you ready?" It gave me goosebumps. Got to be honest, I thought it was pretty cool. We saw I thought I love it. I love myself some D-Generation X. I thought it was pretty dope. And yeah. All right, first we're gonna talk about Roxanne Perez and Julia. Bad break for Julia. Sucks. She was this close, literally like this close of winning the WWE NXT Women's Championship. Of course, Cora Jade came out and then, was able to get out. Roxanne Perez was able to hit Julia with the pop rocks for the win. Roxanne Perez defeated when, like, it was a 12-minute match. It wasn't bad. The hooded woman revealed herself to be Cora Jade, which, Roxanne Perez was happy, kind of crazy. But, I don't know. Once again, it's rest. It's rest. Next, we have Wes Lee taking on Zacery Wentz. This was a good match. I gotta be honest, it was pretty great. A lot of build up, a lot of, backstabbing, just a lot of personal issues that Wentz and Wes Lee kind of share together. The way this match ended, I definitely think there's going to be a part three. It would make no sense if they didn't. Um, I love the fact that Wes Lee seemed, he seemed cold. He seemed kind of dark. And then Wentz, he seemed desperate. He seemed like he was actually like emotionally hurt based on the actions that his brother Wesley has done to him and his brother Trey Miguel. And it was just overall, I thought it was great. It was a great story that came to a great end. Like I said, I'm not too sure if it's going to end, but I don't know. It's just MSK's over, obviously, and Wesley, I feel like is going to have a future in WWE NXT on the CW. Like I said, I see Femi maybe moving on, maybe becoming you know um NXT World Champion in the future, but as of right now, I think Wesley he fixed that bit really, really well. I think that 1,010%. Um, so yeah, next we had Miz TV. Miz TV, we had Tony D'Angelo with the NXT North American Champion Oba Femi. Oba Femi still looks like a complete badass, and you can't stop him. Why would you want to stop him? He's doing so much. He's doing great. He's fought everybody. Luca, Crispino, Stax Lorenzo, and he wants to fight Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo getting his second shot at the greatest there is in NXT. I think this promo was great. I overall thought this was going to be, maybe a little bit more intense, but just the silence of the violence just kind of creates a lot of just a lot of not foreshadowing, that's not the right word. Maybe a lot of hinting or a lot of what ifs. I feel like they kind of left this open because for the longest time when you saw these two people, hey, we're gonna run it back. Oba Femi's gonna challenge Tony D'Angelo once again. You kind of think to yourself and you're like, we've seen this before, they're gonna lose. He doesn't have any faith in himself. He's off his rocker. He's talking to Rizzo saying that, I'm afraid. But overall, the Miss TV kind of made both these guys equal. And that's something that's going to be, very important with the match, to come. Next, we had Jada Parker and Lola Vice losing to JC Jane, Fallon Henry, Fallon Hendry, I believe. I'm just kidding. Uh, Jasmine Nix also was, standing, she was standing wayside. Fatal Influence obviously picking up the victory wasn't much of a surprise. I kind of thought they were going to win. The heels once again, kind of get it. I thought it was pretty cool. You know, I ultimately feel like this whole Fatal Attraction thing is I kind of compare it to like a bootleg version of what's happening on Raw with the Pure Fusion Collective. When you have a whole bunch, when you have three badass women superstars, creating a faction to kind of let's make a difference in the world. Let's be the best that NXT has to offer. Like, but then lately, it really hasn't come in fruition. But like I said, hope it, in the future it does. Yeah, next we have All Ego Ethan Page taking on Trick Williams for that NXT World Heavyweight Championship. All in all, kind of great. It was a great match, great refereeing. Kind of created a lot of drama between All Ego Ethan Page and CM Punk, the voice of the voicelesses. Uh, this was definitely a great way to ultimately like kind of show that NXT's going to be taken seriously on the CW. You have two, Trick Williams. Oh my God, people were going nuts, absolutely nuts, 1,010% for Trick. And once again, I couldn't be more happier for him. I definitely think he deserves it, 1,010%. And also we saw like a promo between Nathan Frazier, also Axiom talking about the A-Town Down Under. Their match next week. Their match next week on NXT. All right. So yeah, definitely love that that my picture did that again while I was speaking to all you guys. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. All right. So now we're gonna talk about some WWE heels that never really worked out. We got a chat from my man Little Fettuccine 68. Does NXT have enough superstar power, or are we going to be seeing more main roster superstars on NXT? I I agree. I think we're going to see a lot. Well, I kind of at the same time, and for the sake of NXT to kind of once again kind of stand on its own. I don't want to see them pick up any stars from Raw or SmackDown. Pete Dunne, obviously I get it. Maybe mid card superstars, maybe some tag teams, women tag teams. I think that's great. I think that could work at 1,010%. But at the same time, when people come in to see NXT, well, when people come in and tune into like a wrestling event, and if WWE is committed to this brand split between Raw and SmackDown, and then lingering down under, you have WWE NXT. You you kind of owe it to the fans not to kind of collaborate too much. I think NXT would be more successful collaborating with TNA as opposed to Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. But of course, that's my opinion, 1,010%. Love to hear some feedback in the comments section. But yeah, let's go on and talk about our next segment. All right, like I said, Xavier Woods kind of teetering on maybe becoming a heel. My worst fear, 1,010%. I feel like 1,010%. I feel like there's going to be some dividends, and we're gonna jump on into it when we come back. So hey, do not go anywhere.